Hi, I'm Jenn C. Charles, and I'm a relationship counselor who's been providing relationship advice for over 10 years to people about relationships. I've just written a new book entitled He's Not Mr. Right, He's Mr. Right for You. Hi, I'm Jenn C. Charles, and I'm here with one of my very best friends, Elaine Seth, to discuss one of my new books, He's Not Mr. Right, He's Mr. Right for You.
Yes, Jen, I read the book. Fabulous read, by the way. Question, how did you come up with this title? It's a very catchy title.
Thank you. Well, there's no such thing as a Mr. Right. Every woman out there is looking for Mr. Right, Mr. Right. But there is no such thing as Mr. Right. The person who's right for Elaine is not right for Jen. And the person who's right for Jen is not right for Elaine. And in that, we need to recognize that we're not perfect, and neither is the man who's going to come into our life and be our Mr. Right. Hence the title, He's Not Mr. Right, He's Mr. Right for You.
And the book is full of a lot of information. How do you go about explaining to people how they can find the right criteria for their Mr. Right for them?
Okay, the number one complaint of men, women don't know what they want.
No way!
Right. So
who said that?
This is what I've heard from men out there. So what my book does is it takes a woman through a journey of actually identifying criteria in herself and criteria that she is looking for in the person who's right for her. I identify 4 areas of compatibility where she's going to look at and determine what in these categories is important for her. So when she finds her Mr. Right, she can actually identify him. And also when she finds a Mr. Wrong, she can stay away from him.
Separate herself sooner than later.
Sooner than later. I mean, how many times have we gotten into relationships where we later have regretted and we're like, what were we thinking?
Yes, and you wonder, where did all that time go? What was I thinking? Was I thinking?
Was I thinking?
You know?
And a lot of times the woman thinks more with her heart and not enough with her head.
Right.
So that's where the book comes in handy.
Women are more emotionally driven as opposed to being logically driven, per se.
Yeah, especially when you think that you're in love with somebody.
Right.
So what you want to do first is identify what you're looking for, so you'll be better able to spot him.
Right, and some exercises in the book are very wonderful at helping you to pinpoint the specific criteria.
Right, they're quick and easy exercises, but they also make you think about what you're looking for. Many people go out there blindly because love is blind. So
yes. Now, what makes you think people get into bad relationships?
A lot of different reasons. One being love is blind. You can completely shield yourself from very obvious things that are wrong within the relationship when you think you're in love with somebody.
Turning a blind eye.
Exactly. Another thing is oxytocin.
Isn't oxytocin a hormone? So how do you tell the difference between the hormonal imbalance and real love, per se? Is there a way to determine?
Unfortunately, you can't. That's like, what's the difference between infatuation and love? Time. There really is no way of telling, because in the moment, it feels real.
Right.
You really feel like you're in love with this person, but unfortunately, you're not, because when the time happens, you realize, I'm not compatible with this person on these levels. And that's where the book comes in handy. I identify 4 different criteria or different characteristics to go on for choosing your Mr. Right.
Okay. And also you mentioned here 5 different types of Mr. Right Nows. Elaborate, please.
Yes, a Mr. Right Now is a person who's there for the moment. They're not Mr. Right for you, but you keep them around because they're serving some kind of purpose.
Okay.
For example, I talk about the booty call guy.
Yes. And his purpose is?
The obvious aside, just pretty much a booty call. That's all he's there for. You keep him around, but deep down you know that he's not Mr. Right for you. And another one is the handyman guy.
Okay, and those 2 aren't interchangeable?
They can be.
Okay.
Those criteria can be in one person, but usually there are different men in your life. And the handyman guy is just somebody that comes over, he fixes your car, he fixes your sink. Deep down again, you know that he's not the one who's right for you. But again, you keep him around because he's serving a purpose.
Right.
Thank you for joining my friends and I as we discussed my new book, He's Not Mr. Right, He's Mr. Right for You. To find out more information, go to the website www.mrrightforyoubook.com. Normally the book goes for $22.95, but if you go to the website, you can find a preferred price there. Again, the website is www.mrrightforyoubook.com.